So we've got a lot to cover with regards to this very specific issue, but we're going to cover it, okay? So did you know that there are two countries in existence? One of them is called Azerbaijan, and one of them is called Armenia. I know that's crazy. You're going to have to keep a lot of information in mind. Now, Armenia is it's actually one of the world's oldest Christian countries. It's like old Christian, you know. Lots of cool castles there. You know, very, very, very interesting historically. Armenia, former Soviet state. Same with Azerbaijan. Now, Azerbaijan is a predominantly Muslim country, and Armenia and Azerbaijan hate each other. They have had two wars in the recent past since the dissolution of the Soviet Union, and it looks like they might have a third. So, um, in the time of the Soviet Union did their best to suppress regional ethnic conflicts within their borders because, you know, that kind of takes away from the whole, like, one big socialist paradise thing. And since the dissolution of the Soviet Union, Russia has actually tried to keep the two from fighting in a weird instance of Russia dissuading rather than encouraging conflict. They have actually tried to be mediators, unsuccessfully, mind you. I love this image because congrats to Armenia and Azerbaijan for breaking international relations theory. This is real. Armenia, supported by the United States, the Russian Federation, Iran, France, and India for some reason. Whereas Azerbaijan, supported by Israel, Turkey, and the European Union, except for France. Not a joke, by the way. Unironically, like the wild card of international relations. Um, it's very weird, you know. Here, let's take a look at the map, okay? So Armenia and Azerbaijan are right here. They are both right to the north of the northwesternmost portion of Iran. As you can see, they are sort of Azerbaijan is tiptoe touching Russia right here. They're right next to Georgia, the country that Russia invaded recently, you know, trying to stamp them down. Now, Armenia and Azerbaijan have been at each other's throats for like a long time, going back historically. So I'm gonna kind of try to skip all that. Man, Russia is so big. What the hell, man? I know this map projection really like overstates how big Russia is, but it's genuinely crazy. Like you're looking at this conflict, it's like, all right, let's, you know, yeah, I know it's distorted, but even without the distortion, Russia is a very big country. So, what about that other little part without a name? This area? Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. So, so here's the dealio, okay? Uh, Armenia and Azerbaijan are fighting over, well, a lot of stuff, but right now it is the Republic of Artsakh. Okay, so the Armenian Azeri conflict, very much like many regional conflicts, a lot of it comes down to fighting over like a they already surrendered. I know. We'll get to that. Okay, over a disputed region. Now, this region is predominantly occupied by Armenian ethnics. Okay, so the people in this area are historically and culturally predominantly Armenian. However, following the last military conflict back in 2020, which I covered on this channel, this area is controlled by Azerbaijan. Kind of, but not really. They operate sort of as a separate republic. Internationally, it is recognized as a section of Azerbaijan, but they haven't exercised full control over the region, and it functionally operates as an autonomous, kind of Armenian republic. Now, over the past year, Azerbaijan has been trying to starve out this republic because they don't like the Armenian ethnic breakaway element to it. So I think the population of this is a bit over 100,000. How is, let me see. Ongoing and there is conflict, this region. Yeah, Nagorno-Karabakh. There we go. What is the population? About 150,000. So, there you go. Disputed territory internationally recognized as part of Azerbaijan, although most of it has been governed by the unrecognized Republic of Artsakh since the end of the war in 1994. It's the first war. Representatives of the government have been holding peace talks mediated by the OSCE Minsk group on the region's disputed status. Okay? On September 2020, a new war broke out in Nagorno-Karabakh. I believe that following this conflict, Armenia reclaimed a small portion of this republic. I think like a third of the territory. I could be wrong on that. Which saw the armed forces of both Azerbaijan and Armenia report military and civilian casualties. Azerbaijan made significant gains during the war. Oh, no, my apologies. Azerbaijan was the one who made gains, regaining all of the occupied territories surrounding Nagorno-Karabakh and capturing 1/3 of Nagorno-Karabakh, including Susha-Anhardrut, so cities. And then the war ended in November 10th, 2020, when a trilateral ceasefire agreement between Azerbaijan, Armenia, and Russia was signed, forcing Armenia to return all the remaining occupied territories surrounding Nagorno-Karabakh. So Russia historically has operated as like a please do not fight. Like the role of Russia here is like, you know, when you have a parent in the front seat and you and your sibling are bickering in the back, and it doesn't matter which one of you started it, but as soon as one of you gets loud enough, your parent turns around and they're like, now hold on, stop. You know, like we're going to turn this car around if you, that's Russia. Okay. It's not a matter of who's right or wrong. It's a matter of how loud the fighting is getting. Okay. So that's the context here. Over the past year or so, Azerbaijan has been trying to starve out what remains of the Republic of Artsakh. And just a few days ago, I believe they fired missile strikes into it, claiming they were trying to kill Armenian soldiers. Let me see if I can pull up the relevant Reuters video. Reuters, Armenia. Show me the vid. Yep, 2 minutes long. Perfect. Perfect for the attention spans of chat.
Azerbaijan launched military action in the Nagorno-Karabakh region on Tuesday, a move that could foreshadow a new war. It says it did so to drive out what it claims are Armenian troops. Armenia and Azerbaijan were both members of the Soviet Union, and in the 3 decades since its collapse, they've already fought 2 wars. Here's a look at how we got here. Nagorno-Karabakh is at the center of the conflict. It's a mountainous region within Azerbaijan and is internationally recognized as part of it. But it's known as Artsakh by Armenians, and its 120,000 inhabitants are predominantly ethnic Armenians. They have their own government, which is close to Armenia, but not officially recognized by it or any other country. Armenians who are Christians claim a presence in the
wizard Christians, no less. That's the crazy thing about like the Orthodox Armenian Christianity, okay? They're like wizards, you know?
Area dating back several centuries before Christ. Azerbaijan, whose inhabitants are mostly Turkic Muslims, also claim...
That's right. They claim ownership of Holy Land, Christian Holy Land that predates Christ. It's incredible stuff.
Deep historical ties. Bloody
Armenia isn't Orthodox, it's Eastern Christian. They're not Orthodox? Oh, my apologies. Thank you for the correction.
Conflict between the two peoples goes back more than a century. The region saw 2 wars after the Soviet Union crumbled. One that took place between 1988 and 1994, and a second that lasted 44 days in 2020. Over the course of the 2 wars, tens of thousands died. In the first war, over 1 million people were displaced. Most of those were Azeris, driven from their homes when Armenia ended up with control over Nagorno-Karabakh.
Yeah, the first war saw Armenia making the big territorial gains, which is why it's mostly ethnic Armenians in that disputed territory now. The second war, the one in 2020, was Azerbaijan reclaiming a portion of that territory.
In the second, Azerbaijan managed to take back 1/3 of Nagorno-Karabakh. Russia brokered a ceasefire between the two, providing peacekeepers to guard the Lachin Corridor, a crucial road that connects the territory to Armenia. Analysts say successive rounds of talks have brought the two sides closer to a permanent peace treaty, but a final settlement remains elusive. Tensions started ratcheting up again when a group of Azerbaijani civilians, identifying themselves as environmental activists, began blocking the Lachin corridor. An Azerbaijan checkpoint was set up, blocking the flow of goods to Armenia. It caused what the US called a rapidly deteriorating humanitarian situation.
Yeah. So again, this is really complicated, but the apparent goal, official or otherwise, largely seems to be about like starving out the Republic of Artsakh, the portion of the disputed territory that is still de facto controlled by Armenian ethnics. As a consequence of this, the conditions have rapidly worsened, and it seems like it is a precursor. Um, no, Vosh, it was always mostly made up of ethnic Armenians. The only reason Artsakh was part of Azerbaijan is because of Stalin's shit colonial border drawing. Okay, so you're saying this region has always been Armenian, and it's the classic like British Empire gambit of poorly drawing borders, and Armenia wanted to reclaim that territory in a war, so they did, and now Azerbaijan is trying to take it back. Okay. I'm not going to litigate like who's right or wrong in this conflict historically. Obviously, like Armenia is known mostly for an event called the Armenian Genocide, so they're not exactly strangers to suffering. But at this moment, right now, today, Azerbaijan is objectively, undeniably the worst of the two. For one, Azerbaijan is like a full-on, like authoritarian dictatorship. There are essentially no civil or political rights there. Armenia isn't great, but it is significantly more liberal and democratic than Azerbaijan to a significant extent. Also, the population of Azerbaijan is about 3 times that of Armenia. They are a much larger country that spends a lot more money on their military, meaning that a war between Armenia and Azerbaijan would almost certainly result in an Azeri victory. Now, where are they getting that money from? Well, Azerbaijan has lots of natural gas, which they sell, in large part, to the European Union, which is one of the reasons why the European Union has a tendency to support Azerbaijan. Likewise, they have positive relations with Turkey. Turkey has a here. Let me pull up the map again. Okay, 1 second. International relation. This is like one of the most complicated. It's so counterintuitive. Okay, so here, Azerbaijan and Armenia are right here. Okay, now Turkey and Azerbaijan are in good terms with each other. Well, kind of. Part of this has to do, I believe, with natural gas sales, but a lot of this also has to do with like shared Islamic sort of bias and preferentiality over Armenia. They're both Turkic, like ethnically and historically. Turkey, yeah, they consider themselves brother. They get along, so there's like an economic and a cultural tie between the two. Additionally, okay, Israel supports Azerbaijan because Azerbaijan does not get along with Iran. And Iran supports Armenia, as I understand it, because it serves essentially as something of a buffer with Turkey. Not to say that Turkey and Iran are like openly fighting, but Iran wants there to be an ally in the region that isn't just like full on, here's the Turkey block right here, Azerbaijan, Turkey, Armenia. Iran has an Azeri ethnic minority too, which I imagine they treat poorly. Why France supports Armenia? I have no idea. No clue. I do know, however, that Palestine, or at least like Hamas, I believe, supports Azerbaijan. No, wait, supports Armenia because Israel supports Azerbaijan. So this is like a World War I situation where everyone supports others because the other people don't like the other. So yeah, it's and Russia, again, Russia primarily seems interested in avoiding conflict, and because right now Azerbaijan is the one prompting conflict, it's complicated, but I think Russia officially is trying to push Azerbaijan to de-escalate, even though a lot of Russian media officials are supporting Azerbaijan because they're bloodthirsty. Yeah, Russia is largely like sort of detached because they have like no power or political will to do anything here. Why is France breaking with the EU? I have no idea. France gets most of its electricity from nuclear power. They might not be as influenced by the gas trade as the EU. That might literally be it. It could literally just be energy politics. Also, India supports Armenia. I don't know why. Even the little chart down here says for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe for fun. Maybe they support Armenia because they don't want Azerbaijan because they don't like an ally of Azerbaijan. I don't know. Muslims. That's it. That's right. India hates Muslims. So they support Armenia because they hate Azerbaijan because Azerbaijan is an Islamic country. That's it. That makes sense. That's right. Though, of course, Iran is also an Islamic country, but Iran supports Armenia because they don't want the bulwark against, or they don't want to lose a bulwark against Turkey. Right, right, right. So yeah, that's the yeah. The United States supports Armenia for a variety of reasons, but we're not really as susceptible to the natural gas trade down here in the Middle East for obvious reasons. Um, Pakistan probably supports Azerbaijan too, if I had to guess. I don't know. Do you think NATO should deal with Azerbaijan the same way they did with Serbia? Well, hold on. Let's calm the bloodthirsty. Calm the bloodthirsty. Okay, please. NATO is over here. Serbia is right here. Okay, the Caucasus are over here. Though admittedly Turkey is a member of NATO and they literally border Armenia. But let's calm down a little bit. Um, yeah. So yeah, the enemy of my enemy of my enemy of my enemy. Blah, 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 blah. There are several villagers that are completely surrounded by the Azeris, and the electricity and communication is cut off. It seems like it's pretty inevitable at this point that Azerbaijan is going to invade and try to retake that territory. Now, what they're planning to do and what they've indicated they are willing to do seems like it's going to be like a full-on genocide. Now, obviously, the Azerbaijan or the Azeri government has not come out and said, "Yeah, we plan on killing everyone in the disputed territory so that we can completely repopulate it with ethnic Azeris." They haven't said that, but it's like a writing on the wall kind of thing. The basic lesson learned here is that Azerbaijan has never been able to fully control this disputed territory because it's historically and ethnically Armenian. So their presumed solution to that would just be like wiping the like just wiping out the whole population. They have already. They've already done the wiping out, or they've already just said they're going to do a genocide. Oh yeah, no, the conflict is already beginning. It's happening. The Azeri government literally has theme parks dedicated to killing Armenians. Hold on. Azeri theme park killing Armenians. That seems like too much to well, no, wait, hold on. Azerbaijan's ethnic hatred theme park draws ire, imperils reconciliation. That's crazy. I would say this is like Hitlerite shit, but I don't think Hitler did this. I feel like this is a new. Many countries have war museums. What's less usual is for such a museum to open mere months after the war and to feature cartoonish-like mannequins of enemy soldiers, yet this is what it's on display in downtown Baku, the capital of Azerbaijan, in a museum that was inaugurated on April 12th by Azerbaijani President Ilham Aliyev. Bosch, I've been trying to get you to click this link for 3 years. They have war slaves. Well, I can't imagine why I wouldn't click that link, like, out of context for no reason while doing a Ben Shapiro segment in 2021. The Syrian mercenaries used as cannon fodder in Nagorno-Karabakh. Who's using them? The Azerbaijans or the... Okay. Turkey and Azerbaijan, because they're besties, deny that Syrian mercenaries were used in the recent offensive in Nagorno-Karabakh, but 4 Syrians have told the BBC that after enlisting for sentry duties in Azerbaijan, they were unexpectedly thrown to battle in the front line. Cool, cool. Seferov was an Azerbaijani military officer who used an axe to murder an Armenian counterpart during a NATO partnership training exercise in Hungary in 2004. Despite his murder conviction, he was pardoned by Aliyev and hailed as a hero upon his return to Baku in 2012. Oh, he just fully like hacked another guy to death, like not even in a fight. They were doing a NATO joint exercise and hailed as a hero for it. That's cool. Armenian Genocide 2. He did it to him in his sleep. Cool, cool, cool. Neat. Eh. I wonder if we could do some kind of intervention. Any kind of like intervention would be pretty perilous. I don't know. What could you even do? Turkey wouldn't allow it. Turkey, dude. But literally, Turkey. Turkey is such a shit ass country. So close to Russia. Can you imagine how funny it would be if we did like east-west de-escalation by having a joint NATO, except Turkey, and Russian like peacekeeping force in Armenia? How funny would that be? Like it's like of all the conflicts, like shaking hands over here and protecting the line or whatever. Russian soldiers killed by Azerbaijani military. Oh, this is from today. Breaking. Azerbaijani forces just killed 8 Russian soldiers in Karabakh. That's not good. This is probably because Azerbaijan is aware of the fact that Russia is very weak right now and doesn't really have the ability to do much to intervene. Like, Russia doesn't really have the people or the resources to fully suppress Azerbaijan. What does the Azerbaijani military look like? Like, what's the budget? What are we talking about here? Budget about 3 billion. That's a lot considering the size involved. 126,000 active personnel. Yeah, that's a lot on the scale here. Thing is, Russia can't really intervene. Plus the topography of Azerbaijan. Yeah, both Armenia and Azerbaijan are really mountainous. Um, hmm. What's with the Turkey hatred? Well, Turkey's bad on like every level. So like it's mostly the main reason people hate Turkey is because they're bad in every way, is the thing. Didn't stop NATO in the Balkans. Yeah, well, in the Balkans we just bombed them. You know, it doesn't really matter if you're bombing them, but for actual like peacekeeping intervention, the president of the European Council did call on Azerbaijan to stop the invasion. Yeah, makes sense. I don't think anybody wants the invasion. Well, at least nobody on our side. Turkey did kind of do a genocide against the Armenians that they deny to this day. Yep. In the past, Azerbaijan has detained people for voting for Armenia in Eurovision. What? Azerbaijan authorities interrogate music fans in Eurovision probe. 43 Azerbaijani music fans who voted for neighboring Armenia in this year's Eurovision have been questioned about their ethnic pride. Jesus Christ. It's like a cartoon. It's like a cartoon. Phenomenal country. Please look into whole Azerbaijan. Yes, I know. They consider everything theirs. It's like same as always. Quote unquote whole Azerbaijan is just what if we took all of it? Former Armenia, and then just a big chunk of Iraq and Iran. Good luck with that. Exceptionally bad country. Yes. Hold on. Civil, political rights. Azerbaijan. Yeesh. Yeah, we are now Armenian nationalists. Okay? We are Albanian and Armenian nationalists. We are both. Yeah, sorry guys. I don't think anything can really be done to stop this. Not to be like super doomer or whatever. But if you like check off the list, right? Russia can't do anything. They do not have the political will or power right now, even if they wanted to stop this, which, you know, do they? Georgia obviously can't do anything. Turkey actively supports Armenia's downfall because Azerbaijan and Turkey are both evil, cartoonishly evil. Iran can't really intervene because intervening to protect Armenia would both cause a lot of international strife and also could potentially put them in conflict with Turkey. Why can't Georgia do anything? Georgia's not strong enough to do anything. Like, yeah, assuming Iran even wanted to, like, it would be pretty risky and would put Iran potentially in conflict with Turkey, which is a NATO country. So yeah, that's not ideal for them. Time for another U.S. interference. I don't think we can do anything. Turkey would block any NATO vote. Like, there's no way Turkey would go for that. Even if it was done outside the purview of NATO and was done purely as like an American thing, this is a pretty tough one to justify, man. You know? We're over here. We're over here. Or they're over here. And also, Americans don't even know what an Armenia is. Like, there's no political will whatsoever, you know? Turkey should be kicked out of NATO, not gonna lie. Oh, I agree, yeah. Literally, Turkey. They're an enemy of democracy. They should not be in NATO. The only reason Turkey is in NATO is like longevity, because we had missiles stationed there so that we could like nuke the USSR, you know? That's it. Aren't there lots of Armenians in the US? Yeah, I wonder what happened in the Caucasus and the rest of the world that would have made them flee in large numbers. Could the EU intervene? I mean, no. The EU doesn't really have like joint military capabilities, like functional. I mean, they do like technically, but they don't. And also the EU is over here and the Caucasus are over here, you know? Got to cross the whole Black Sea. Keep in mind that literally the only way to get over here is through Russia or through Turkey. Like if in terms of like supplying troops, even if you want to get there via the Black Sea, you can't, because you'd have to land at Turkey or Georgia. First of all, Turkey would have to let you into the Black Sea unless you're one of these countries, which they don't want you to, so they wouldn't. And then you get over here and it's like, well, where do you land? You could land in Russia. No. You could land in Georgia, which is basically just Russia, so no. Or you could land in Turkey, which supports Azerbaijan. So how the fuck do you get to Armenia, which is landlocked, you know? Plane over what airspace? Georgian airspace or Turkish airspace? Again, keep in mind the we had like airspace access to Serbia when we did the NATO intervention over there. Space drop? Okay, space drop. Gotcha. You can dig tunnel to Armenia. Yeah. What we need to do, folks, what we need to do, okay? This is the solution, all right? We need a new channel, all right? From the Black Sea to the Caspian Sea. It's the only way. No, I have a better idea, okay? An even larger channel, all right, that connects the Mediterranean Sea to the Caspian Sea. It'll be the largest engineering project ever undertaken. Maybe we can just cut up through the Persian Gulf and just cut Iran in half right here, and then we can do the boats through, except it's Iran, so they wouldn't let us. Yeah, sorry, Armenia, you're kind of completely surrounded by enemy nations. We don't really have a way to access you. Sorry. Like, what else do we go through? Like, somehow get around to Turkmenistan? Like, it's Kazakhstan, you know? The US has its air force in Iraq. Yeah, but again, it would have to pass over Turkish or Iranian airspace to do anything. See? This is like 200. How many miles is that? I don't know. That's a lot. 300 miles? I don't know. It's a lot of miles. Many miles. In the previous war, Iran was leading into with Armenia. That doesn't mean they would let us through. Is Turkey going to shoot down US planes? No, they wouldn't do that, but it would lead to a lot of conflict. And I really don't think the American people would be on board with us alienating Turkey just so we can intervene to save Armenia, you know? How the f we even invade Iraq? Um, well, for the Gulf War, we initially intervened to protect Kuwait, so it would have been through here and up, right? But Saudi Arabia would have been our... Yeah, Kuwait and Saudi Arabia would have been our ins through that. The U.S. has troops in Armenia right now. I mean, we have troops everywhere, but we don't have, like, an army. We need the glorious Kazakh Navy to come in and attack Azerbaijan. It's the only way. Vroom. The Russians aren't helping refugees and no one can flee because the Azeri still block the Lechian border. Yeah, it's not good. Thousands of people are stuck in the Stepanakert airport without water, food, and other essential supplies for hours. The Russians aren't doing anything. The Red Cross should get involved. How could the Red Cross even get involved? Armenia is just like Armenia is just in a really bad position for like aid. They're not even connected to either the Caspian or Black Sea. Like they're landlocked even to the sea. If Turkey was an actual ally of democracy, it would be fine, but they're not, so it's not. Okay, guys, here's the real plan. Are you ready for it? Okay, guys, are you ready for it? I don't think you're ready for it, but I'm going to tell you anyway, okay? So, operating on the assumption that Syria isn't a real country anymore, okay? Because we've got lots of troops over here. Well, at least we used to. We still have some, okay? We pal up with our buddy, Rojava, okay? And we move along. Then we tiptoe right here across the northern border of Iraq, all right? Real sneaky like, okay? Then we wait for some kind of Muslim holiday. I don't know, all right? When they're busy singing their praises to the Ayatollah or whatever, we move up super, super quick in Kablama. We're in Armenia. How about that? Does that work? Ramadan? We wait for Ramadan. I don't know anything about Islam, but I'm pretty sure that they can't shoot you if it's Ramadan. I'm pretty sure that's how it works. That's just a total war tier strat. Yep. That's just the Kurdish territories. You know, it is true that this area right here is Kurdistan, okay? Maybe what we need to do is play on our recent friendly relations with the Kurds, and we just need to, like, have them sneak us in. They can smuggle us in, all right? The Kurds, we can just package, like, 50,000 U.S. troops in a bunch of, like, laundry baskets, you know, where they, like, put a guy in, they put the laundry over him, and it's like, oh, I'm just moving the laundry. And, like, the Kurds will put forward 50,000. We're going to do like a Usurker Creed deep strike right here into Armenia, and then we all throw off the laundry and we move east. Maybe a Trojan horse. Yeah. Georgia isn't Russia. No, Georgia isn't Russia, but Georgia doesn't have much political will outside of Russian control. I mean, that was the whole point of the invasion. How soon do you think war might break out? The war is already happening. Like, there have already been a bunch of strikes from Azerbaijan on the territory. It's basically already happening. The only reason that it hasn't, like, officially been declared is because the strikes from Azerbaijan have been on the autonomous territory, not technically Armenia. Georgia hates Russia. That's kind of incorrect. Yeah, but okay, wait, hold on. I could be completely incorrect on this. Doesn't Georgia have like no power? That was the whole point. Like Russia broke them. Like Georgia might want to escape Russia's control, but they were like their back was broken by Russia. They can't do anything. I'm sorry, I might be oversimplifying the situation there. My impression was that Georgia functionally doesn't have much national autonomy, even if they hate Russia. Georgia has only one internet line, if I recall correctly. Huh. Georgians hate Russia. The Georgian government loves them. Okay, yeah, that's what I mean. Like that was the point of the Russian invasion, right? It was to like break them in line, you know? Even if the people hate Russia, like Georgia, the nation can't be a military ally of Armenia. That's not true. What? Hold on. Okay. I'm sorry. This is kind of tangential. I actually don't know much about Georgia. I acknowledge this. But either way, Georgia can't help. Okay. We'll learn more about Georgia in the future. Okay. I'm not gonna do the tangent thing. Okay. I apologize if I said anything that's incorrect. I just mean my understanding is that Georgia cannot intervene in this. We'll research the Georgia thing later. The Caucasus are wacky. Yeah. I want to really quickly see what I want to really quickly see what these countries look like. I want to do the maps thing. I don't know. I feel like you can tell a lot about a country just by like taking a peek, you know? Oh my god, beautiful. Don't ever talk to me and my son again. Gorgeous. Wow, this looks quite nice. Oh, dude, wizard Christianity. Holy shit. Isn't it crazy how like America is Protestant and Protestants are the ugliest Christians by far? Like Catholics, Orthodox, and Armenian Christians all have dope ornamented shit, and then Protestants have like community centers where they meet in the basement with folding chairs. Well, that was because the invasion presence on it, right? I have a feeling most of the photos we're going to see will be of yeah, will be of like religious architecture. Here, let's do one more. Maybe just a road so we can see sort of oh, you know, that looks quite nice. I mean, Armenia is obviously like a poor country. It's not like Western European standards or whatever, but it's, you know, typical post-Soviet city. I don't think that's true, actually. Like, obviously, Armenia was Soviet, but I'm pretty sure that the Caucasus have always had like a really distinct flavor to them. Even like Eastern Europe suffered a lot from like Soviet homogenization, but I'm pretty sure that Armenia and Azerbaijan kept relatively distinct um styles, I feel. Oh, there's still commie blocks to be sure, but you know, like that's fine, right? I mean, it's good for people to have housing. I just mean it's not quite like going over to like Serbia or Croatia or whatever. Most of Eastern Europe had to be rebuilt after World War II. The Caucasus did not. Oh, that's a good point. Yeah. World War II would have destroyed a lot of Eastern Europe, but the Caucasus haven't. Yeah, the Caucasus didn't suffer during World War II. I think. I don't think there was wide. I don't think there was large scale conflict here. Was there? No, there wasn't. Was there? I don't think there was. Might have been. It was a world war. There was some. I mean, there's some stuff, but like, okay. Now to look at Azerbaijan. Okay, so these are the bad guys. Okay, that's pretty cool. All right, so we're out in the middle of nowhere here. Are we in the middle of nowhere? Isn't this their capital? Here, let's go into like the city. Oh, wow. Oh my, okay, that's really pretty. Oh, that looks really nice. This looks almost Parisian, doesn't it? I know it not really, but like the way it has the overhang and there's like a little balcony over the windows and it's mixed development and stuff. At the very least, a similar like set of priorities to the Parisian development. Kind of ostentatious. I don't know, man. I would love it to like go outside and have buildings that look like this loom over me. Also, is that a protected bike lane? Holy shit. Oh shit, guys. Are you guys ready for a new arc? Azeri urbanism? Are you guys ready for the new most confused political arc imaginable? Oh, okay, it's actually quite pretty. Wow. Well, I guess this is what oil money will get you. Ruins the vibe. This building, huh? Like, look at that. Beautiful. And then, like, fuck, you know? Beautiful. Beautiful. Fuck. Yeah. Yeah, I want to go to Melbourne for a minute. Ah, pretty. It's kind of interesting. Like, Armenia and... I feel like Armenia and Azerbaijan both have very different architecture to what I would expect for the respective religions, right? When I think of like Islamic architecture, I think of stuff that's like Iranian or like Saudi Arabian or whatever. I guess like that's kind of like where my mind goes to. And when I think of stuff that's Christian, I think Catholic. So in both senses, this place has like a distinct architectural flavor for their religions. At least to me, you know. Islamic architecture is normally very intricate. Yes, it is. Islamic architecture, from like all the Islamic architecture I've seen, it's very, very nice. Yes. Oh man. Oh, look at the fountain. Look at the why two, Vermin? That looks nice. The Artsakh Defense Forces had to surrender today, and Azerbaijan is going to, quote, integrate it. Yeah, that was pretty much inevitable. Yeah. We know that the autonomous region is surrendered. They have no chance at resisting Azerbaijan. Like, none. Zero chance. And technically, the area is internationally recognized as Azeri territory. So it's not surprising. The question is, are they going to kill all the inhabitants, or a lot of them? Like, are they going to do some genocide shit, like they have been saying they're going to? And are they going to continue the fight into what is legally recognized as Armenia? My answers to that is they almost certainly will do something at least resembling ethnic cleansing. I don't know whether they're going to strike Armenia. Yeah, how many U.S. troops are there?
Good morning from the world's greatest hotel. Check out the view.
Name?
My name is Paula.
Paula?
Getting arrested. Nice section down here. Good morning.
So, to Ganja City.
Okay. Wasn't one of the major reasons the Soviet Union had to walk back some of their policies on religion because of the Caucasus? Like the areas that are now known as Azerbaijan and Armenia is like, whoa, what the f you're banning religion? But we're like super religious, you know? And those were like some of the largest influences in pushing out. Actually, wait, that might have been mostly the Orthodox Church. I think the Soviet Union was just never able to suppress religion down the Caucasus that much. Isn't that right? Like the Soviet Union tried to, but the Caucasus are pretty far south and they're pretty religious and it's pretty difficult to to tell them to not be. Yeah. Interesting. Okay, well, I know this has been kind of a long and meandering segment, but the situation is pretty complicated, and I felt like it would be good to sort of look over things broadly. Uh, do we all know a bit more now? Like, do we all feel a little bit more knowledgeable on the whole Azeri-Armenian conflict? I feel like an expert now. Good, yeah, we are experts now. We are now legally experts, yes. Can we see Georgia? Doesn't Georgia have like one telephone the whole country has to share? Oh, well. Wait, which is the capital? Kutaisi or Tbilisi? Tbilisi. Tbilisi? Okay. Oh. Oh. Wow. No, don't do that either, Benjamin. Man, you just know this wall was made like 5,000 years ago. These are all middle income countries. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like the Caucasus are probably, I mean, it varies, but the Caucasus economically are on par with with a lot of Eastern European countries, right? Well, wait, maybe. No, 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 not really, because like the Baltic states are a lot wealthier than they are. Maybe more like I don't know. The Caucasus aren't doing as bad as a lot of other parts in the world. I think the real issue for the Caucasus is that they're kind of politically irrelevant to like us, you know? The West doesn't pay much attention to the Caucasus. Yeah. Now do a random place in Detroit. Sure. I will. Dun, da, 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 dun. You know, guys, I'm going to be honest with you. I actually have no idea how to arrive at Detroit just from the map. I actually don't. I've never actually, like, seen Detroit on a map. Not once. It's in Michigan? Okay, that sounds right. Yeah. Um, start here. Okay, well, obviously it's a big city, so it would just be right there. Oh, I didn't know that Detroit was, like, kissing Canada. I didn't know that. I genuinely did not know that. I don't know anything about Detroit except for like people are like, haha, it's porn black, you know? Huh. I mean, I knew it was close to Toronto, like Seattle's close to Vancouver. That's why it's so bad. Yeah, you do like a random pin drop in Detroit and you see like Canucks wandering the street ruining everything. Sick of Detroit being the butt of jokes. Well, we did say we were going to drop a pin, so oh, yeah, that's right. We're in a Western country now. All right. Give us quality. Yeah. Well, it could be worse, I suppose. I love how desolate this looks compared to like Armenia. We just were. But this is like typical American shit though. This isn't like Detroit. Like when people say like haha Detroit, they don't mean that. That's what America looks like. America's just ugly. Ugh. Oh man, I love having like 90% of all your outdoor space be car space. Look at that. Just like mentally blank out everything here that only cars are meant to use, and it's like there's nothing left for humans. And everything's just a green grass lawn. Looks worse than poverty. Same, just everything's the same, man. All right, whatever. Okay, the point here is that we are all Armenian nationalists and death to Azerbaijan. Okay? Okay. All right. Nice.